Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk About, the show where I ramble on about various video game topics. And today's subject is Pirates Treasure Hunters. Now, Pirates Treasure Hunters is a free-to-play MOBA that has become available on PlayStation 4. And since I enjoy MOBAs and I hadn't really played one in a good while, I wanted to check it out. So I've been playing some matches over the last week or two, and I wanted to kind of give my impressions of the game as a whole here. Now, Pirates Treasure Hunters brings a lot of interesting things to the MOBA genre and has fun little twists on the game as you know it. So, to start here, we have our character select screen, and I'm going to be playing this match as Patrice Swan, who I have not actually played as yet, so it was pretty fun. And I don't own any of the characters in them because you have to purchase them either with real money or the in-game currency, so I've just mostly been playing the characters that are on the free weekly rotation. And Patrice was the character for this video, and she's actually quite a lot of fun. I can see why she's picked very frequently in a lot of the matches I played. Another interesting thing about Pirates Treasure Hunters is there aren't really roles like there are in some other MOBAs. Like, there are characters that could still be defined as a support or a tank, but it more comes down to how you build your character, and I'll get into that in a little bit more. So we're about to dive into the main match here. I'm on the blue team, and there's only one map that's playable at the moment, but it's a decent sized map, and there's still a good amount of stuff to do in it. And the first objective in every game is to take down these two enemy totems, and as you'll see, everyone starts booking it right at the beginning of the match to get to them. Now, one thing that's neat about Pirates Treasure Hunters is the vehicles. As you can see, we're all trying to get into this little car thing here. And I do have to mention that the vehicles are very difficult to get used to. As you can see, one of my teammates kind of just crashed into the wall there. The handling is kind of loose, but once you kind of get a feel for it, you'll be able to zoom across the map with ease. But as I said, it does take a bit of getting used to. I know I had to play several matches before I kind of really got a feel for how to drive. So now I'm making my way down to my lower base camp here, my lower totems, because I saw some enemy markers popped up on the minimap. So I'm making my way as quickly as I can using the grappling system. You can grapple through various small islands on the map. So now I'm defending my totem against the enemy team. It's a 1 versus 2 fight here, which usually doesn't go very well, but thankfully I get out of this situation okay, although I barely make it. I have to thank my little spider friends here. Now, the spiders are basically this game's minions. There aren't really creep waves or minion waves, but the spiders do come out whenever your enemy teams attack your totems. And the spiders hurt big time. Like, you do not want to be hit by these things, because they pack quite the wall. But they can also go down pretty easily so long as you keep on them. Because once you defeat them, you can start attacking the totems that are within the circle there. You can only defeat totems within the circle. You can't attack them from outside, which is a really neat feature they had for this game. And there's another vehicle right there. That one I usually use more to get across really quickly across the map. Unlike the car, it doesn't have a weapon that's really effective of itself. Anyhow, we're back at the totem camp here. My teammates are really bringing it up top, but I wanted to make sure this lower base camp was defended. So now we go into the upgrade system. Leveling in Pirates Treasure Hunters is pretty different from other MOBA games I've played, because instead of upgrading like specific abilities and items, you upgrade your character as a whole. Like, you can upgrade your health, your speed, your defense, in addition to upgrading your abilities and weapons. So that's really cool, and your max level is level 25, but so you can't upgrade everything. You have to really pick and choose which assets of your character you want to hone in on. And as such, it can completely change the way your character is played. I made, for this match, I made Patrice a speedy fighter with emphasis on melee combat and guns. But I know I've played some matches with other characters where I just made them tanky as possible, so they could just soak up damage for the rest of the team. And here, you'll notice I'm just keep putting points into there, and I'm looking at this ammo box here. Your rifle and handgun ammo, all the character firearms, have a finite amount of ammo, and every now and then you have to go to one of these ammo boxes to reload, because you do not want to you do not want to run out of ammo mid-fight. It's not a good thing. Now here I got bit off a little more than I could chew, and the enemy Patrice took me down right there. Thankfully, the respawn times in Pirates Treasure Hunters aren't particularly long, even in the late game, so you can still keep fighting and you don't have to worry about being KO'd for long periods of time. The rest of my teammates are really bringing the fight to the enemy base camp up there, so I keep going down here, make sure that this base camp stays safe. And see, they took down the spiders there. So the spiders, they go down easy, it's just they still hurt a lot. And we got an enemy teammate on a boat there trying to create some havoc. So I generally tend to use firearms, especially in situations like this. You can't really attack the character on the boat with melee. But for this particular character, she does have a lot of melee-focused abilities, so I wanted to try to take advantage of that by leveling up her rapiers. But generally, firearms are your go-to because you can keep enemies at a distance, but at the same time, like, it might be better to get in close and just take the fight to them, because overall the melee weapons do a bit more damage than your firearms, provided you've upgraded them correctly. So now I'm giving the little cart here a turn, and as you can see, I still have some trouble controlling it, but overall I've got the controls pretty decently down, and you can actually sometimes one-hit KO the enemy team with the car by running over them, so that was my attempt here. Unfortunately, it doesn't go quite to plan. I use the flamethrower a little bit, and then I crash and get stuck. And I try to bail as quickly as possible, because I'm like, that is not going well at all. And that character right there, the one with the rocket launcher, he was another like tanky character, but the range on that thing is pretty ridiculous. There's a good variety in terms of the firearms of the characters. Like, Patrice has a more, I would say, like a machine gun type, but there's also some that have like pistols, shotgun type weapons, and one of the voodoo characters I played a lot with, it's just like a continuous laser beam almost between her staff and the enemy, so there's a good amount of varieties. And here I'm trying to use some poison grenades, which are my third weapon I have, and I'll go into abilities a little bit. Every character has 3 different abilities. Usually they buff their weapons and attack or like defense, and then in some cases they're like a specific ability. Like Patrice's triangle move is she just spins her swords around really quickly and does a ton of damage, and her square on the other hand makes it so her rifle doesn't use any ammo, so you can just go ham on the enemy team and don't have to worry about reloading. So now our teammates, they took care of the top enemy totem, and now we're trying to take care of the bottom one. Teamwork is always very important on MOBAs, because there's no I in team, as they say. So we're all working together to take it down. You have to try to keep an eye on the enemy team, the spiders. You have to being aware of the map as a whole is important, just like it is in a lot of other MOBA games. And between the 3 of us, we're doing a good job of holding our own here. Now I'm using the 2 rapiers, and there's the triangle skill. Does a lot of damage and looks pretty spiffy. And also, sometimes when you kill an enemy teammate, they drop gold, and gold helps you level up faster. So whenever you see those, provided you're not being shot at, you want to try to pick those up, because they do help you level up even faster. And it doesn't happen here. A very cool thing about this map is that little gate that little bridge I crossed can actually be lowered so the enemy teams can't get across it. Now you can raise the bridge again, but I've actually had one match where right as I was crossing it, someone lowered the bridge, so I fell into the water. So that's a neat feature, and it makes getting to the enemy totems a bit more difficult for the other team. So it can either be a help or a hindrance based on your situation. So there's the voodoo character I was talking about. She is probably the closest thing to a support character I've seen in this game so far. She has a lot of healing abilities and buffs, and this guy just gets destroyed. He did not a good idea and jumped to a 1 versus 5 there, or 4 rather. So we're really making a good push here. We got we're continuously staying in this circle, taking down the enemy totems. And once you defeat the 2 first enemy totems, the central one unlocks. So that will be the next objective our teammates will make a push here for. So just go into the upgrades a bit. As you can see, I'm making my character a little bit tankier so she can soak up a little more damage, because Patrice is actually kind of squishy at the start of the game, I noticed. So now we're making it towards the central totem. So now we're attacking the central totem here. And if you attack those spider nests and destroy them, it will prevent new spiders from spawning for a little bit of time. So that can also be very useful. Sometimes I'll actually make that a priority first to get rid of the spider nests. That way there's less of the little minions attacking you. Because as I said repeatedly, they do not feel nice. They hurt. And as you'll notice, there is actually a little cannon there on that enemy totem, which can be used to defend against enemy ships or the enemy galleon, which is basically the strongest vehicle in the game, provided everyone gets on it. It's made more in mind with having your entire team on the boat, because I've been in some matches where every teammate was on the galleon, and it was just crazy the amount of damage we were doing, because there's so many cannons on that ship. So as you can see, we're totally destroying the enemy totem here. Any resistance the enemy team is putting up is immediately taken care of. In some ways, I actually felt a little bad for the enemy team. Oh, there's the galleon right there. So it's big super weapon if used properly. And sometimes if one person will just hop on it, but so if everyone works together, it's very cool. So now we move on to the final objective of Pirates Treasure Hunters, and that's to take down the enemy's bastion, or their home base. And to do so, you have to cover up that pit of lava there by raising this little iron grate over the lava pit. So you have to rotate these switches here, which you can do by yourself, but it goes much faster if you have 2 people helping you. But I saw that one of the enemy teammates was going towards me, so we both race out the tread to take care of her before we head back to the switch. So now that the enemy Patrice is taken care of, we resume lowering the iron grate so we can get onto that lava and take down the enemy bastion. So now we all go to the final objective, and the enemy bastion actually has quite a lot of health. Usually you have to attack it as a team, because if you just attack it one at a time or by yourself, it doesn't work out very well. And there's a very minimal amount of time to attack it, because that floor doesn't stay up very long. As you can see, it's already going back down, and that lava is an instant kill, so you do not want to fall into it. So seeing how the lava was already coming back up, I take time to reload, and then we're going to go back and raise the grate again.
Enemy bastion may be left unprotected. Enemy bastion is protected.
Now this match actually went really quickly. I'd have to say this is probably the fastest match I've ever had when playing Pirates Treasure Hunters. Part of it was we all worked really well together as a team, and at the end here, the enemy team kind of just gives up and they start killing themselves. As I said, I felt kind of bad for them because this match went very much in our favor. But I've had some matches that went upwards to an hour, where our teams were just going back and forth, and so we were winning, and then we were losing, and then we were winning again, which is very common in a lot of MOBAs I've played. So while there is snowballing to an extent, you can still come back and get victory even if you're losing in the first half, provided you just keep working together. So we have our final push here to take out the enemy team. We just need to get onto that base one more time, and then it'll be taken care of. So pretty much you know how it's going to end here. We're taking down the base, but I have to say Pirates Treasure Hunters has been a lot of fun to play. And oh, there goes the enemy team. They just killed themselves. So sad. Anyhow, I like the twin-stick shooter feel it has on the PS4. I don't think I've played another MOBA like that, so that was pretty fun. And I like how dynamic the vehicles make every match. There's I actually had one match where I took the little
enemy
car
bastion is
up to the enemy
unprotected.
bastion, and I parked it right in front of it and got on the Gatling gun on the gunner's seat and just went to town on their base. It was a very cool feeling. So now we just wrap things up, and kaboom, the enemy base is gone. So that is basically what a match of Pirate Treasure Hunters looks like. As I said, it went a lot faster than normal this time, but on the whole, it's pretty fun. Even though there's only one map at the moment, it's a very enjoyable map, and I really liked it. And after each match, you gain experience for your profile, as well as getting some of the current in-game currency to buy characters if you want. But you don't gain very much. I still think League of Legends, at least from what I've experienced, is the most generous as far as in-game currency, because you do not gain that much in this game. So you have to really play quite frequently. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this kind of commentary / impressions of Pirates Treasure Hunters. I have actually had a lot of fun playing this game. There's some really cool characters in it, and I have to say I really like how much lore there is in some of the characters' bios. There's some really interesting stories in there. So that was fun to read as well. So, if you're interested in Pirates Treasure Hunters, it's available for free on the PlayStation Store. You can check it out and see if this is a MOBA that feels good to you, because I don't know about you, but I always am up for some pirate-themed action, so this was a pleasant surprise, and I've really been enjoying it. So I hope you had fun watching this Let's Talk About episode, and if you really enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if you're feeling particularly awesome, please subscribe. Until next time, keep having great adventures, everyone!